Hello everybody and welcome to EarthElects. Well, after a frantic month in March, April is a huge month of elections with exciting races with national, continental and international consequences. We start today on the 3rd of April where 5 exciting races are in progress. We'll start with Serbia, which is having its general election. The Presidency and all 250 seats of the National Assembly are up for election. President Aleksandar Vučić of the Big Tent Serbian Progressive Party is looking for re-election, and opinion polls suggest he will get it, and it seems likely he will get the majority necessary to win in the first round. Perhaps more intriguing is the legislative side of the election, but his coalition, Together We Can Do Everything, a big tent of government supporters, looks set for a majority. However, the opposition will re-enter the legislature after a boycott in 2020, uniting under one banner, a similarly big tent of opposition members known as United Serbia. The second election is also in Serbia, as Belgrade holds local elections for the city assembly. Together We Can Do Everything are looking to retain power, while United Serbia look to take their majority off them. Former Ambassador Vladeta Jankovic has the aim to take the presidency of the municipality from Together We Can Do Everything leader Aleksandar Šapić. In Hungary, a parliamentary election is being held with the career of Prime Minister Viktor Orbán at stake. His alliance, the right-wing populist Fidesz KDNP, has held power since 2010 and has been accused of anti-democratic measures. Therefore, pretty much the entire opposition, left, right and centre, have all united into one big tent, known as United for Hungary. Independent Péter Márki-Zay, mayor of Hódmezővásárhely, won the opposition primary to take on Orbán as prime ministerial candidate. The polls are neck and neck with a slight lead for the government, although they benefit from the electoral system. However, they will likely lose their two-thirds supermajority. Also in Hungary, a referendum is taking place on the same day. A referendum about the role of LGBTQ studies in education is taking place, with 4 questions. Do you support holding information events on sexual orientation to minors in public education institutions without parental consent? Do you support the promotion of gender reassignment treatments to minors? Do you support the unrestricted exposure of minors to sexually explicit media content that may influence their development? And do you support showing minors media content on gender-changing procedures? The opposition have called for a boycott, stating that the government is asking leading questions, so that in the ballot box for the general election, people will be spooked against the more LGBT-friendly opposition. The government accused of using LGBT people as an easy target. In Costa Rica, the general election will conclude with the second round of the presidential race. It's a race between 2 centrists who got through the first round, with former President José María Figueres, a disciple of the Third Way from the National Liberation Party, was ahead in the first round, but Rodrigo Chaves Robles, a former finance minister who is from the Liberal Social Democratic Progress Party, has taken the lead in second round polling. An intriguing race there. On the 9th of April, the Gambia will hold its parliamentary election, and this one's personal. The centre-left United Democratic Party hopes to retain their majority. They are led by Ousainou Darboe, a former ally of President Adama Barrow, and served as his vice president. However, their relationship grew tense, and in the end Barrow sacked him and left the UDP. It is unknown whether the UDP can maintain their support. We'll find out how much of it was a vote for the UDP and how much was a personal vote for President Barrow. The 10th of April is an exciting day, with 3 presidents all looking to keep power. In South Ossetia, President Anatoly Bibilov of the conservative United Ossetia is up for re-election, with 4 opposition candidates. But more of the world's press will be focused on France, where President Emmanuel Macron is up for re-election. With a 2-round system in place, Macron, a liberal from La République En Marche, is guaranteed to win the first round and advance to the second according to polls. And the question of who he will face seems to be answered, with MP Marine Le Pen from the right-wing National Rally pulling significantly ahead of what was, up until recently, a crowded field for second. If this does occur, it sets up a rematch of the second round from 2017, which Macron won. Another president who is set to be put to the polls is Andrés Manuel López Obrador, president of Mexico, from the left-wing National Regeneration Movement. A referendum has been held to recall the president. A referendum will be held to recall the president, but he shouldn't sweat too much if opinion polls are to be believed, with the majority saying López Obrador should stay on. Two elections are on the 11th of April. Firstly, in Katsina State, Nigeria, local elections will be held, a process that has been going on in Nigeria throughout the year in the various states of the federal country. Secondly, in Quebec, Canada, a fascinating by-election will take place in Marie-Victorine. In 2018, Catherine Fournier of the Quebec Nationalist Party Québécois was elected MNA, but she left the party to become an independent in 2019, claiming it had lost its way ideologically. In 2021, she stepped down to become mayor of Longueuil, triggering the by-election. This has traditionally been a safe seat for the Péquistes, as the last time they didn't win an election here was in 1985, but in 2018, Fournier's vote share collapsed, and four parties are challenging for this one. The PQ have nominated former MP Pierre Nantel, while the centre-right coalition Avenir Quebec, the left-wing Quebec Solidaire, and the Liberal Quebec Liberal Party are all chomping at the bit to win back the seat. The PQ, once the main Quebec nationalist voice in Quebec, are at their lowest ebb in years. Will they survive a further setback? Two elections are being held on the 19th of April. Nigeria continues its local elections with polls in Edo State, whilst in East Timor the presidency is up for its second round. In the first round, incumbent President Francisco Guterres of the centre-left Ritalin did make it through, but in second place, while former President José Ramos Horta of the similarly centre-left National Congress for Timorese Reconstruction way ahead of him. The second round will be a head-to-head battle between two presidents of the country. Finally, in Slovenia, a parliamentary election, which is in equal measure confusing and fascinating, takes place on the 24th of April. 9 parties won seats in 2018, and through deflections and splitting, that is now 11, with Prime Minister Janez Janša's Conservative Slovenian Democratic Party leading a coalition government. Janša is considered a maverick right-wing populist, and despite winning the election in 2018, he was initially kept out of power by a coalition of parties that considered him too dangerous, but this was fragile and only lasted until 2020. His biggest challenge seems to be from a party that has only existed less than a year, the Green Freedom Movement, led by former State Secretary Robert Golob. The centre-left Social Democrats and the left-wing The Left, both of whom have a clear base, have survived this polarisation and will fight as their parties, but most other blocs have found themselves unable to sustain support amidst this rapidly divided election. So, thank you for watching that. Plenty of elections in April. A lot of them sort of completing narratives we've heard about for a while. Sort of Serbia's and Hungary's apparent democratic backsliding, the presidency of Macron. Certainly an interesting one, especially in Europe, but plenty of elections around the globe, and I hope to bring you videos in depth of as much of them as possible. So, thank you for watching, and it's goodbye from me. Goodbye.